You know, if you're turning 65 and looking at Medicare for the first time, you're probably wondering, what's this all about? Well, I'm going to tell you a little story before we get into that. One of them is for the last 30 years or so, you have probably been covered by health insurance. Most likely it was an employer group health plan, and you never had to buy insurance before. But during that time, you have been paying premiums to insurance companies, expecting them to pay your claims. Instead, what you got was they gave you a list of doctors. You can use these doctors. You can't use the doctors that are not on the list. No, we're not going to pay that claim. No, we're not going to let your doctor do the test or procedure that the doctor wants to do in order to make you better. So basically, you've been paying money for something and you've not been, maybe haven't been getting a lot of value in return. This is about to change when you turn 65. This is Bob Vineyard, your Medicare expert with the Georgia Medicare Medic. All right, when you turn 65, there are two ways that you can go. One of them is original Medicare and a supplement plan, and about half of you will reject that, even though you've been paying into Medicare for the last 30 or 40 years of your working life. But about half of you will reject that, and you'll go with a plan that seems to be absolutely wonderful. You think you've died and gone to heaven because all of a sudden there are no premiums to pay. There's free this, there's free that, and it just seems like it's the best thing since sliced bread. Well, I've got news for you. That is not the same plan that you've had before. In fact, the same doctors and hospitals that you've been going to for the last few years may tell you, well, if you try and come in here with that plan over there, we're not going to be able to see you. We're not going to be able to do business. Original Medicare doesn't work that way. Original Medicare has no networks. It has no referral requirements. There are no penalties for coloring outside the lines and going someplace that an insurance carrier says, no, you can't go over there. So maybe you need to take a moment and actually look at what original Medicare has to offer before you get involved in one of those Medicare PPO plans. Now, I'm not trying to frighten you. I'm just trying to tell you the truth. Truth that you're not really going to get from somebody who's pushing those other plans out there. So if you want to get more information about how original Medicare works and how it may or may not be for you, give me a call. We'll talk about it. One last thing, if you decide to go with one of those plans that everything looks to be free, and then you change your mind down the road and say, well, maybe I ought to look at this Medicare stuff, in a little more detail. You may find at that point that you no longer qualify for a Medicare supplement plan. Oh, you can get original Medicare. You can leave the PPO plan and go to original Medicare, but you may not qualify for a Medicare supplement plan. Let's talk about it. This is Bob Vineyard, your Medicare expert with the Georgia Medicare Minute. You take care. Have a great day.